Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet. Welcome to Friday Fun Live. I am so glad you could join me. We've got a lot of fun things to show you. We're going to be talking a little bit about Christmas today. And let me just go ahead and get down to the chat just to let you know we're broadcasting here from Gaithersburg, Maryland, and where it is a depressing 48 degrees. I shouldn't say that. It's 48 and just really looks gloomy out, but hopefully that will change. This is the fall. We're going to get days like that. Let me go ahead and greet everybody. Brat's mom, so glad that you could be here with us. I saw your comment about an hour and a half ago. Hope your physical therapy went well. Thank you for the reminder of the thumbs up. And Susie Pop's Creations says, can't wait for the live to start. And hello to everyone. Hello, Susan. So glad you could be here. Or Susie Pop. And Kim W says, in bed with COVID, but wouldn't miss this. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kim. I hope it's a quick version, whichever version is out there these days. And I hope you feel better very soon. And Cynthia says, hello to everyone and happy Friday. She says, I've been trying to get over pneumonia. Oh my goodness. Excited to see what's new today. Wow, Cynthia, I hope you feel better too. Goodness, I guess it's that season. And Miss Wanda Gordon, thank you so much for joining us. And she says it's chilly in North Carolina today, and she's praying for everyone. Thank you, Wanda. You are such a sweetheart. And Denise, good to see you. And Barbara, my Alaska friend, says good morning from Santa's workshop. Having a fantastic time as the day light gets shorter and the snow deeper. How I love this time of year. Crocheted your pixie hat last night. Excellent. Wow. And Alana says, hello, everyone. Wish it wasn't such a busy season, but what would we do if we couldn't crochet? Cry a lot. Hope everyone is doing well today. Yes, thank you, Alana. And Tracy says, hey to all our crochet friends. Says, haven't been here in a while. Busy season for sure. I have so many projects going, making 2 more Emily's tulip blanket. Memorize that pattern. Wow, good for you, Tracy. You've made more than I have. I've only made one when I designed it, but I would love to make some more of those. And if you're looking for the tulip blanket, just do a little search on my channel on the homepage for tulip blanket, and it should come up. It's a really fun, I dare say, sort of easy. I mean, it does require intermediate crochet skills, but if you slow that video down or just take a look at the video, I'm hoping that that will help you with that. All right. And let's see. All right, get my bearings here. Okay, Katie Mack says, I'm about to start Emily's tulip blanket again. I'm finishing up the rose-colored hearts Afghan first. Still doing all of this in my son's hospital room after his transplant. Oh my goodness, I hope that is going well, Katie. You are on our prayer list. I'm trying to be faithful to pray through that every week. It's gotten quite long, but I hope he gets better. I hope, that he accepts that transplant. God bless you. My goodness, as Tracy Hamilton says, that's a lot. Let me go ahead and bring Hannah up. Hannah, I have been neglectful here. Let me go ahead and bring you up on the chat. There we go. All right. We have a prayer request from Stephanie. It says, hi, hope everyone's having a fun with yarn today. Ms. Bonnie, can you please place my friend Veronica on your prayer list for December 5th? She is having surgery on her arm. I sure will, Stephanie. I will do that. Once the live is finished, I will add her to that list. My goodness. Lots and lots of things happening today. Well, let me see. Let's get a little bit further into the chat so I don't get too behind on there. Oh, and on Katie Mack's son says he is still here because he isn't able to keep anything down, but his blood count is beginning to go up. So I guess that's good. I'm missing the red blood count. I guess that's very good. We will pray for him, Katie Mack, that he'll be able to enjoy food. Um, and Phil, excuse me, guys. Phil says, hello, everyone. Still at home taking care of my mom. She went to sleep on Saturday and has not woke up since. I think it's getting to the end. Oh, dear, Phil. Um, we will pray for you too, my friend. My goodness. Just to let you know, if you're new to this channel, this is not exclusively a prayer channel, but at times it becomes that. This is about crochet, but we are also a community of people who care for each other, I think, in as genuine a way as you can, through the internet. And as you know, God does not need the internet to to pray for each other. So yeah, well, Phil, I will definitely be remembering you today as I'm out driving, because we're heading to Pittsburgh after the live to visit my son and his wife. I'm gonna, really have fun doing that. And yeah, so I will be thinking of you as I see the trucks go by, you and our truck driver friend Wanda as well. And Hannah sent me a note from Diana. Says, hey, from Arkansas this morning, I'm looking for a wedding blanket gift for a Scottish Irish couple. Any thoughts or suggestions? Um, Diana, I would suggest you just look through the list on my channel. I have a playlist for the Aran Celtic throws, and there are many different styles and designs on there. I would think any of those would probably work. Um, yeah, if you're looking for something with lots and lots of, like behind me, lots and lots of texture. And of course, you can change up the color to be very festive for a wedding, from any of the colors that you see them designed in, including this one here, which I'm going to show you in just a bit, the Christmas cable. Actually, let's go ahead and just do that. Go ahead and start with this. Um, just a reminder that Bonnie's Christmas cable throw is still up on the channel. It's going to be up there for a long, long time. But this is a fun one to crochet. It is an intermediate to advanced level. So I don't want a brand new crocheter who's never crocheted any cables to say, oh, I can just sit down and do this, because I'm afraid it would be too frustrating at first. I have other simpler things you can try, hundreds of them actually. But this is available. This took me approximately 20 balls of the paint box Simply Aran, or if you want to use any yarn that's available to you locally that you prefer, that's never a problem. I used about 4,000 yards. So yeah, 4,000 yards of your, or so of, or less of your favorite worsted weight yarn. And this is what you can make. And let me show you the bottom has the ribbed down there. Yesterday, go ahead and put this back. Grab another blanket. Yesterday, we had our Zoom class for the many ways to crochet ribbing, and we covered a bunch of stuff in the 2-hour time yesterday. If you are a watch subscriber, the video recording is up on the watch site for you to view. I do apologize for the audio quality. If you were in the class yesterday, you knew I was having trouble. I think something was updated. You're always getting updates and things are always a changing. And I won't get into all that. You know what I'm talking about. But there was a recent update on my phone that I think it changed the way it interacted. So there's a little bit of an echo. It almost drove me insane, but I apologize for that. But I still think you can maybe even just turn the audio off and just watch the crocheting, and you'll be able to get the gist of that. But anyway, so that is up and available for watch subscribers. If you don't know what watch is, there's a link in the video description. It's watch, WATCH .bonniebaycrochet.com. It is a paid subscriber channel where you can watch many of these same videos plus a whole lot more. There is actually unique content, and there is exclusive design content that's there that does not appear on my public channel. And you also have the ability to download at no extra cost many of the PDFs that I have for sale in my other online stores. So it has a lot of perks if you are really into crocheting. Has levels from very beginning all the way to advanced. And I do have recorded classes on there that you can take if you ever wonder what it's like to take a class at a conference, but you're not able to travel. I do have some complete classes there, including 2 designer classes, how to design your own scarf and how to design a texturized poncho. So if you're looking to get into some of that, that might be an option for you. You can, again, hit that link in the video description. It's $7.95 a month or $79.50 per year. And when we do have the Zoom classes, I try to hold these once a month. Don't know what's going to happen in December yet. I'm still not sure of my personal schedule with serving family. We may end up just having an online Christmas party. I don't know on Zoom, but we'll see what we're going to do something. But I'll let you know. But generally, we have a class that's interactive on Zoom about once a month. So, and that's again, that's complimentary with the $7.95 a month fee. So, anyway, if you're interested in that, please check that out. Um, Okay, and from a random user, it's an interesting name. Is the cable stitch hard? I've been crocheting for a while. There are many if it's there are many different cable crochet stitches, but the cable stitch, which is using single crochets, it's not hard, but it's a stitch that includes single crochet, slip stitch, uh, chains, and turning. A lot of other stitches use front and back post stitches. So, what I always recommend that you do is look at the stitch videos that I have on my channel and decide if you think it's hard or not. I think there is a learning curve to many of these stitches, but they use the basic foundational stitches in crochet. They're not changing anything about the actual stitches. It's just where you put the stitch might be a little different, if that makes sense. But I would just encourage you to jump on the learning curve and check out some of those videos. And I'm always here to try to help answer any questions where and when I can. All right, this week, I didn't give you a heads up about this last week because I wasn't sure if I was going to get to it or not, but I did release the Easy Breezy lapghan. This is a smaller throw designed, for someone who's, let's say, in a wheelchair, or you just want to, sit in your recliner and you just want a smaller, blanket. I used the Premier Yarn Bloom yarn. This is the DK weight, but don't let that scare you if you don't have DK weight yarn available. And yes, the yarn is totally self-striping. I know it's very random, but I kind of enjoyed that. Um, if you want to make this larger, all you have to do when following the pattern is add multiples of 6 to the existing starting chain, and you can make it wider. If you want to use worsted weight yarn, just upsize your hook to the size that you would use with that particular yarn and crochet away, and it will automatically be wider just because it's using a thicker yarn. So this is a very, very easy and fun. um, I have used the term mindless. Some people say meditative, meaning you don't have to be solely focused on the design itself. It's just a stitch that repeats again and again and again. And it can be very relaxing. And in the end, you end up with a beautiful lap blanket or a lapghan. Okay. Um, so that's the main new thing that I have to show you. Actually, I have one more, but let me get back to the chat and catch up. Um, Thank you, Wanda Gordon, for caring for Phil through prayer. I appreciate that. And Katie Mack says it was 45 degrees this morning in Texas. Yeah, we're getting into the cooler weather now, which is kind of nice. My flowers have all kind of gone wilty. So they're kind of gone. So, but that's what happens this time of year. I'm surprised I had my flowers as long as I did this year. The deer held off. Uh, my trick held them off. But anyway, um, And Felicia is in our chat. Good morning to you. And hello to a random user. And she says, "Thank you, Hannah. I'm trying to, I like, okay, I like to help others and make their day." Isn't that sweet? Wait a minute. I think I skipped over some things. Ah, I missed a lot. Hold on a second. The thing just jumped right in front of me. Um, we got lots of comments here. Give me a second here, guys. I don't want to miss anybody if I can help it. Uh, oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm so far behind. I'm gonna miss people if I don't slow down here. Okay, I found out where I was. And we have Sarah. Sarah, she says, "Hello, Ms. Bonnie, and hello, everyone. I'm Sarah from Lafayette, Louisiana." Well, welcome, Sarah. Sarah, what a great name. Um, and we have Nana Pam. Hello to Nana Pam and Felicia. Glad that you're here. And oh, thank you, random user. He says, "I love your patterns. I have learned so much." Well, thank you. I'm so glad that that's the case. I know I frustrate people sometimes too, unintentionally. Um, that's what learning does sometimes. And let's see. Okay, we've got the prayer request for Stephanie. Okay. Um, and a random user says to Kim, "COVID is no fun. I hope you heal quickly. Thank you for caring for her." Yeah. And Margita, hello to you. And thank you, Hannah, for being there and doing all your greeting the way you do so well. And let's see, Diana says, okay, we already read that one. Hannah sent me that one already about the wedding gift. Um, and let's see. Thank you, Tracy, for caring for Phil. Uh, okay, I'm making my way finally here. And Stephanie says, "Sorry, Miss Bonnie, I'm sorry for adding more on your list. However, I am mul- making multiple of your okay, I guess multiples of your wheat scarf for my family this year. They work up pretty quick." Yay, hey, that's great. Yeah, and I like that one. I like that one for a guy's scarf too. It's not too frilly. Has a little, depending on the colors you choose, can have, um, okay, thank you, Hannah. Okay, so a random user is Diane. I'm probably not going to remember that, Diane, but thanks. Using your son's login. That's great. It's a very clever login, though. Tell him that, please. And Phil says, "Thank you all for your prayers." Yeah, it's so hard. I, it's kind of bittersweet, I think, taking care of those that you love that are so close, especially parents. And we've done that here for many years and doing it long distance now that's why Hannah's in South Carolina. And I'll be swapping out with her before too long. But yeah, it's a bittersweet. It's a privilege to be there to care for them, the ones who gave us life. But it's hard. It's hard, and it leaves a hole in your life when they go. But we will be praying for you, Phil. Okay, Stephanie wants to know, for the Fergus Shrug, where do I have to purchase the magazine? Okay, the Fergus Shrug is in. Do I have the book handy? Yes, I do. Um, the Fergus Shrug is in this book, The Celtic Cable Crochet. I would offer a simpler option and say just buy the individual pattern here or there, but I do not own the rights to this. Yes, I designed it, but just the way publication works with books a lot of time. This is the Fergus Shrug that she's talking about. The way publication rights work, I mean, I have to buy these copies from the publisher in order to even resell them. So that is the backside of the Fergus Shrug. I had one here handy, but I cleaned up my little room here so I don't have as much stuff around. I have just what I need, but I should have just left it. But that's why it's a book, and you can get those books. I normally would have them in my Etsy store, and I signed the ones that I send out from there. But since travel is on the horizon, I mean, I'm traveling today, and then I'm going to come back for a day, and then I'm heading to Georgia to help with grandchildren, by the grace of God. And because of that, I'm not going to be here to send out the books. But the good news is you can buy them cheaper from Amazon, especially if you're a Prime member. They can afford to send them out cheaper than I really can. I have to buy the stamps like you do to send things out. So that's why my books are a little more expensive, because I'm trying to cover my postage cost. But you can get those at Amazon, and there should be some links in the video description where you can go to the Amazon page and find all those books. And thank you for considering that, Stephanie. I'm sorry it's not easier, just a one item purchase. But the good news is, let me go ahead and show you the book again. I do have several other designs that are in this book, like the Lavina poncho amongst them, where I have the complete video tutorial on my channel so that you can view. I think there's like at least 4 or 5 designs that I've crocheted out of here and put the tutorials up on the public YouTube channel. So, all right. Uh, Thank you again, Felicia, for your um, you know, prayers for the folks in our group here. And Beth, it's good to see you in the chat. She says, "Hi, Bonnie and Hannah. Thanks for the prayers for my dad. He is out of the hospital and doing well." Well, praise God for that, Beth. That is wonderful. I'll have to remember that next time I go through, get to that point on the list. Um, and Hannah is saying, yeah, prayer is such an important thing for us to do, and it's all we can do sometimes. Yeah. And it's significant. It's not nothing. People sometimes feel like it's nothing, but tell the feelings, as I tell Hannah sometimes, tell the feelings to move to the back of the bus, because they oftentimes feelings get in the way of what's really true, because prayer is effectual when praying to the Lord. So, Angie, good morning to you. And Sandra, she says, "Hi everyone, happy Friday from Southern California." Wow, welcome Southern California. And thank you again, Denise, for your prayers for Phil. And Tracy says, "I'm in the middle of Shannon's wandering throw. I still have 100 rows to go. It's very detailed cables, and one row takes me about 30 minutes with all the cables. Very fun." Yeah, I'm glad you like that kind of fun, because that's my kind of fun too. The good part about doing a lot of these cables, I know they're a little more complicated than just your average crochet, but I do know that it's good for the brain. It is good for us as we age. We're all aging. My grandsons, who are barely 1 year old, are aging. We're all becoming older, and anyway, it's good for the brain development, and it's good also for arthritis and keeping those hands nimble and working. I've heard so many wonderful testimonies about just crocheting and knitting and just keeping our minds and our hands active. It's a wonderful thing. Um, Very, very beneficial. Of course, we do need to get up and walk around a bit too, and I'm guilty of probably doing not as much of that as I should. Um, and Sarah says, "I'm working first time on one of your cabled patterns. I'm crocheting Celtic braided scarf. I love it. I'm making this as a gift to a very special friend. Thank you for the tutorial." My joy, Sarah. So glad you're enjoying that. And thank you for joining us today. Let's see. Susanna says, "I'm going back and forth between making the Christmas cable blanket or the ball morale blanket in red. They're both beautiful." Well, now that you mentioned that, Susanna, let me go ahead and show that, because some folks may not know what the ball morale throw is. I think this would be, put that one down too. I think this would be lovely in red, or any Christmassy color, or just any other kind of a natural color. This is the ball morale throw. I mean, it's the same, alternating these cables all the way across, and again, um, trimmed with the ribbing. I find it really hard to improve on just your basic ribbing. You see it everywhere. I was talking to the class yesterday. Just love hanging out with them. All right. But yesterday with the crocheting ribbing class, it's just really hard to improve. And I'm going to show you some things that in just a minute for quick crochet ideas for the holidays or really for any time. But holidays is the time when you're really like, gosh, I want to give a little something to those we love, but don't want to break the bank. And I have a whole stack of ideas I'm going to show you in a bit. But some of them have ribbing on it, just your basic front post, back post, front post, back post, alternated ribbing. It's everywhere. I mean, it's in manufactured clothing, it's in knit, it's in crochet, but even when you just buy things off the off the shelf or off the rack at stores, most sweaters have a ribbed trim, around the arm, around the neck, around the bottom of a sweater. It's very, very, very common. I'm going to turn that dinger down a little bit. From Deborah says, which pattern do you recommend to start crochet cables? Um, that's a good question. I'm going to show you some things in just a minute. I would say I would start with swatches. Try the 4-post cable stitch. Um, and once you understand doing front and back post stitches, working in front of stitches, maybe the basic braided cable. I'll show you some stitches in just a minute. Um, that's Deborah, so that you can just kind of look at the video tutorials. And part of it sometimes comes down to which stitches do you like the look of, which stitches do you want to crochet, and those are usually the ones that you might enjoy the most if you like the way they look. Okay, let me go ahead and do some of that right now. Before I do, I have one more design to show you. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get this out um, this week. If not this coming week, it'll be the week after. I want to get this out before Thanksgiving. And you've seen this before. This is the Celtic Star shawl. It was using a variegated yarn that I purchased at a conference. But I think even just plain old, just regular, any sock weight yarn that's just a solid color, I think would look stunning in this as well. The name colorway on this yarn is called a Minith Tirith, which is a place in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, if you um, are familiar with that. And it is trimmed with ta-da ribbing. Like I mentioned, ribbing just works for so many things. And around the edge, let's see if I can you see? I'm trying to see. And I have little beads on the end, which will pick up a little bit of sparkle, but that's an optional thing. So a little interesting trim at the bottom. And it's one of these where you can wear it as a scarf. It probably works best as a shawl. You can also make this bigger than this if you wanted to, simply by continuing the pattern stitch, which you will learn once you start this. The stitches are added at the beginning, at the end of the row, and in the center. You can see how that works. If you crocheted the Celtic Star baby blanket, it's very similar to that, except that it is, but it isn't, because it's the shawl shape. So this should be coming in the next week or two. Okay, so I don't know exactly when. Like I said, I'm on the road and not knowing how things are going to transpire there, but when the internet will be good and so forth. So I know you all know what I'm talking about. All righty. Uh, yeah, and Sarah said, I'll share the completed work on Facebook soon. Please do. And if you could send me a picture, bonniebay@me.com, or send it to me through Messenger so I can request permission to share because I love being able to share your work. You all are my best advertisers. Just when you send me those beautiful pictures of the works that you've completed from my designs, that I can share with others, and it just gives people confidence and hope that maybe they can, complete them too. Any designer can post, a gorgeous design that we make, but the question is, can you replicate it? And you answer that question for me. So I am so appreciative of that. Okay, Hannah wants to know, do you know the name of the yarn or who made the Lord of the Ring yarn? I actually don't have that off the top of my head right now. Um, well, actually, let me look. Let me look at that 1 second. Give me 1 second. I will look that up. Um, doo. Okay, hold on a second. My computer is working really hard right now to bring up this document. Okay. It You can look this up. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. Okay, I'm gonna post this in the chat below and try looking this up online. This is all the information that I have. It's called First Class. That's the name of the indie dyer. First Class Silk, fingering weight yarn. So if you can look that up, she may be on Etsy, but I'm not sure. But that is the name of their company. So I'm trying to think where. Hit return. There we go. I'm trying to think where I picked that up. Okay, it was in Dallas. It was at Dallas Fort Worth in 2023 when I picked up that yarn. All right. Uh-oh, Wanda Gordon says my watch subscription renews next month. Uh-oh. I know that's a big hit, isn't it, Wanda? Um, I so appreciate you, being supportive. And and a random user says, I like the Israel flag in the background. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have caught some heat from people for having that. As you know, I do stay apolitical about everything, but Israel has a special place in my heart. My husband and I have been able to travel there, and just it's such a rich place and it's full of biblical history. And not going to get political on this, but I do believe that they have a right to exist. And if people have a problem with that, I'll talk with them about it, but I can't say much more beyond that. That we all have a right to exist, and that's the main reason why the flag is there. So thank you for being understanding about that. I know some of you may have different ideas and different views on that, and that is your freedom in our country to have a different view. And we can still be friends, even though we disagree. But I feel very strongly about this. So thank you for, and I know I have lost some business because of that flag, but the flag stays. Thank you so much for saying something about that. But that's all I'm going to say. Um, Anyway, and Tracy, thank you. She says, I can honestly tell you cables are not hard if you watch Bonnie do it. She truly makes it easy. Oh, thank you, Tracy. That is so sweet of you. And yeah, thank you. Canna says to Wanda, thank you for your love and support of the Watch channel. Appreciate that very much. And Gail says, greetings from Alaska. It's been a while. Hope all is well. Yes, yes. All is very busy, but it's well. I mean, busy in a good sense. As your children get older and they grow, and it just becomes more interesting as a parent. Um, Lots more traveling, and kind of watching out for our parent, a parent, Craig's mom, while also trying to care, watching over the generation above and then trying to help the generation right after you and the generation after that, our grandkids. So it's becoming gloriously busy, and we're just very, very thankful and really looking forward to the holidays. Or I haven't really had much time to think about it, but we're really looking forward to that. And Kelly says, hello, I'm still watching. Um, yes, thank you. I'm so glad that you're here. Uh, and again, Brat's mom, thank you for taking care of Phil through prayer. And a random user says, or Diane, is that right? Diane? Yes, Diane. I'm looking back on Hannah's notes that she's sending me. Um, Says, I make clothes for babies and children from my friend to bring to Peru and Dominican Republic. Excellent. Excellent. That is so kind of you. Reminds me of the Operation Christmas Child. Maybe some of you are interested. A friend of mine up here, Vicky Cowan, she makes she hand sews many simple dresses for Operation Christmas Child. That's the shoebox collection through the Samaritan's Purse organization. She makes, I know, a few hundred dresses, and all year long, and they go to all the children around the world, which is just amazing to me. She's an amazing woman. Okay. Very, very good. That is so sweet of you, Diane. And Kelly says, I've had a lot of life changes, but I'm still enjoying your live talks. I hope you're doing all right, Kelly. Live talks. Okay, got it. And is it Lorene? Good morning to you. And Kelly Hart says, sorry I'm late, watching you from Tucson, but don't live here. Well, Kelly, I hope your mouth is healing up from last week's surgery and all. I know that's supposed to be one of the fastest healing parts of the body, but I hope you're doing well, sweetheart. Um, and let's see. Stephanie says I guess it's about the stitch, says it's not hard and I'm a big dummy sometimes. Stephanie, we're all big dummies on something sometime. I felt like a big dummy yesterday on Zoom. It just seems like the technology, we have a love-hate relationship, and as soon as you think you understand something, they update the software and it's changed somehow. And that's what happened yesterday. And I just felt like, ah, um, always something. It's always something. But yeah, we're not dummies. We just don't know everything, and that's okay. But yeah, I am so glad you're here. And Kelly says she's crocheting a Santa hat. Um, well, we just got a bit more loaded. Let me see. Uh, Hold on a second. I lost my place. We were just talking about Kelly's Santa hat. Where is that? Okay, sorry guys for my slowness here. We're talking about with Stephanie about feeling like a dummy. Well, here's my turn. um, all right, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. I may not get to all of that today, but there is one thing. There is one thing I want to do. Brat's mom was the first person in the chat today. Linda, if you would please send me your name and address. If you do not have a copy of this month's Crochet World, I have an extra copy that I don't need, and I would love to send it to you. So if you don't have that and want it, please send me an email, bonniebay@me.com, and I will pop that in the mail. Um, if not today, early next week once I'm back home. Okay. All right, so now where was I in the chat? Okay, we did that. We did that. Da, da, da. Okay. Y'all are so patient. um, Diane from a random user says, Florida here, 45 degrees sounds lovely. Having been from Florida, grew up in Florida, I understand that feeling. I was actually just down there not long ago, 2 weeks ago, and I loved the 80 degree. So, yeah, it all depends on your perspective, I guess. And okay. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause, and I wanted to show you some ideas. If you're a faithful follower of the last several years, some of these are going to look like repeats. So I apologize for that. But what I wanted to do is just go through a quick show and tell. I mean, a very quick show and tell of possibilities for quick Christmas gifts or Hanukkah gifts or whatever you're celebrating. Or if you just need a gift, for a teacher gift or appreciation gift for somebody. I'm going to show you these, and these are all in a playlist. I have a link in the video description that says, playlist of quick crochet gifts. Some of these are super easy. Some of these require a little bit of skills. But let me go ahead and start with this one. This is a round crochet dishcloth. This is in my Easy Beginner Crochet book. It's also available as an individual pattern made of cotton. Now, the few of the things that I'm going to show you now, let me show you. These are made of cotton. You don't need a specific brand, but this type, sugar and cream, it's kind of on the rougher side, but it's very, very tough and durable. You can buy it at Walmart and different places. A big, big spool that will make probably a dozen of these. Very, very economical. So if it's anything for the kitchen, dishcloth, or something for you to use as a hot pad, please don't use acrylic because it will melt. It will disintegrate. Use the 100% cotton yarn, and that applies to this. This is a really fun design. It's a circular dishcloth, okay, and this will hold up to the scrubbing, or you can put this on the tabletop and use it as a trivet to keep your, protect your countertop if you want to, or just even use it as a decorative thing. It can handle the heat of the pot. You can also fold it in half like this. I wouldn't do this as a single, but fold it in half. And I do this a lot, and I double it and I use it as a hot pad to get things out of the oven. You can also fold this in such a way and tie it and make it look like a flower. Make a bunch of these, and make it like a bouquet, when you're gifting it, make it look like just beautiful flowers. And of course, then they can take it out and they have functional dishcloth or a hot pad. This is another, like a dishcloth, using the basket weave stitch and a little thing you can hang it up. Some other stitches, which are dishcloths. This is using the woven stitch. And this is another one, just a different color. This is a pot holder. This is also in that list. The back side is plain. You can use it as a trivet, and it's definitely thick enough to just use it as a pot holder and get things out of the oven. Here is a very simple beginner, just using single crochet, beginner dishcloth, and of course using, really pretty ombre yarn can make the journey fast. And most of these, not all of these, but like, for example, this one, this can be made in under an hour by most of you. It might take a beginner, an absolute beginner, maybe 2 hours to make that, but I can do these in probably 30 minutes. I mean, and those of you who are really fast, you can probably do a couple of these in an hour. And same with these and the circular one as well. All right, I'm going to show you some more. Hold on, Hannah has a. Okay, no, the green one, if this is the one you're talking about, this is the 4-post cable. It's a variation of the 4-post cable. Some other quick ones. I do have some soap sacks. You put a bar of soap in here, and these are fun for camping. There's Sacks, SACKS, online, a company that, or an organization, a nonprofit that collects these, and they use these in homeless shelters and all sorts of things. Now, if you want to learn how to knit, I do have a beginning knitting pattern, or not pattern. The pattern, this is a universal pattern. This is not something I came up with, but I do have the tutorial for how to make this if you want to learn beginning knitting. Again, using the same um, cotton yarn. I will say it's a little harder learning knitting with cotton yarn. I would recommend starting with wool and a different design, but if you want to make that as a knit project, you can. Here are 3 different colors. These are spa cloths, a little more intricate design, but I do have a video for these online. I believe the original pattern is owned by Annie's because I did this for Crochet World many years ago, but the video tutorial should be enough. Okay. And here is a braided cable hat. This is obviously for a harvest hat for the fall, but you could easily change this up to any other colors. You can omit, the vine if you wanted to. So this can easily be a Christmas hat. Just, put a white pom-pom on the top instead of the stem there. Lots of possibilities. Here is another one. This is one that was released. I updated this recently. This is a beret, and I'll show you the inside. Again, using the ribbed part here to help hold the beret on. And here is another one. These are really fun, and these are two front posts, 2 back posts, headbands. Can have quite a bit of elasticity to them. Make sure that the original um, chain is crocheted more loosely, or if you like to do your single crochet, starting chain, that might be a good candidate on this design. But these are nice way to use up your scraps too, and get a Christmas gift out of it to boot. All right, here I'm just coming down to a few more. Oh, this is fun. This is one I made a while back. This was during the pandemic, and I put buttons on that to hold it. This is so soft. This fur yarn by Lion Brand. You can wear this as a hat, especially if you have a trip to Russia anytime soon. But it also is a wonderful cowl, and it just feels so nice. And what's really nice about this is if you make a mistake with your stitches, nobody's going to know because you can't see the stitches. Because of that, it's a little more challenging to crochet. Um, is that corner to corner? I'm not okay, I'm not sure which one. I don't okay, yes. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. I do know what you're talking about. Okay. If it's this one, yes, this is corner to corner. This starts out in a corner and it goes, and then you're increasing and then you're decreasing. This is the knit, beginning knit design. Okay. And oh, here's another hat. This is a fun one. Did you use cotton to make the red headband? No, no. The red headband, I think I used wool, but you can use acrylic, alpaca, anything for these. And this is a hat, a popcorn hat. This is also on the site. And again, there's that ribbing just keeps coming up again and again. This is a fun one. This is one that I really enjoyed making. This is a scarf. And as you can tell, it's like a giant granny square. And these are classic. They are fun to make. They come together really fast. You can, tie it, wear it as a scarf. These are, I don't think this type of stitch for crochet is ever going to go out of style. This is where a lot of people want to start, and this is what people think of when they hear the word crochet. Of course, we know it's much more than the granny square, but this is not really a granny square in the traditional individual square sense of it. But you know what I mean, that three double crochet stitch cluster. And here's another version of that. And there are many other things that I don't have the design to show you because I've given it away. But here's another using that really fun fur yarn that they have at the stores. They have different companies, different versions of this, but this just feels amazing. This is so soft, and again, it's the same style as I showed you with this one, but this is a DK weight yarn. This is a worsted, or may even be a number 5 weight yarn. But again, you can crochet these things out, and you just stop when you get to the size that you want to stop at. You can make these super big, or make them, just small enough for a scarf. And here is a hat. This is a beginner hat using half double crochets. Super easy. There's no join line in this. You start out at the top and you do increases using a stitch marker. So you're just going round and around and around. And then again, we're ending it with a ribbed trim. Like I said before, it's hard to beat the ribbing. It just gives it such a nice finished look. And it's been around for hundreds, probably thousands of years, so or as long as we've been stitching. And here is a headband. It's kinda hard to see the stitches. There you go. This is made out of a fingering weight yarn. Of course, you can make this, with a non-variegated, less crazy color yarn, nice and stretchy, and this makes, for a nice headband, especially in the wintertime, just a little something to keep your ears from freezing as you're, out walking the dog, or, just want to get out for a walk and in the freezing cold, go for a run. Boy, yeah. Those of you who do stuff like that. So, yeah, lots and lots of stuff. So, lots of potential, lots of possibilities. Of course, there are many more, and there are many larger designs. Of course, it's getting a little late um, to be committing to something really, really big for gifts. I mean, you guys are amazing. You can do whatever you want, but you know what I'm saying. It gets to a point where you really want to focus on enjoying the time with family and the holidays. You don't want to be pressured with a bunch of, making a bunch of gifts and all. You want to get that done early. So, and also just remember that it's not always just about the gifts. It's about much, much more than that. So, but anyway, I just wanted to show those to you again, just to remind y'all in case you needed some suggestions. All right. Um, I may not get to everybody today, but I do want to try to say hey to everybody. I see Quilty Crocheter on here. Welcome, welcome. That's a new name to me. So glad that you can make it here. And it says good afternoon. Um, let's see. Do. We have crazies. Is it Crazy Sill? Hello, all. First time here from the Netherlands. Wow, welcome. That's a long way, all the way from the Netherlands. Um, I know you guys get cold weather there. Kelly says, "What are you doing for Christmas this year?" I'm going to be in South Carolina. Going to be visiting my mother-in-law, and a couple of the children will be there. I think Hannah and a couple of my other kids. Don't get to see everybody this year because they have other in-laws to visit. And a random user says to Crazy Sill, how was life in the Netherlands? I want to move there, or to Switzerland. Yeah, my husband wants to go to Switzerland. Yeah, he wants to live there. I just don't want to be the elderly woman who doesn't speak the native language, if you know what I mean. I don't know that my brain could pick up uh, the Swiss German or even the French that I would need to learn depending on where you live. There are like so many different languages in Switzerland. And Carol, thank you so much for being here. And Jet One In, so glad that you could join us. You said sorry to join late. I slept in. Never a problem. Um, she said I'll have to watch the replay for that book you just showed because that looked awesome. Well, thank you. And Laritha, welcome. And Rita, she says I'd like to buy your books at Amazon if they have Kindle versions, so I can always have them with me. Yeah, that's a good idea if you like doing things that way. I'm kind of a stuff person. I've got to have I've got to have the physical copy. Okay, what's the name of the green headband? I don't know the exact. I think it's the basket weave headband or something like that. But if you look at the playlist that I put in the video description, once the program is over, or whenever, it's in that list. You'll see the shocking green color there, and be able to find it from the playlist. Uh, and looking for the name of the book again. I think you're talking about this one. Although there's several, but this is the one where the shrug was in Celtic cable crochet. But I've got about 14 others. So there's a bunch of them out there on the market. And Kurota, good morning. She says, good morning from Alaska. Wow. Um, and oh, thank you, Tracy. She likes my earrings. You like my little alpacas or llamas. I'm not sure what they are, but either way, I've crocheted with both. I picked them up at the Hagerstown Fiber Festival about a month or two ago. Um, thank you, Susie Pops. Says she loves the watch channel. Thank you so much. Um, Stephanie says helps with my anxiety. Yes, crafting certainly does. And we have Deborah Eaton says, good morning. Which pattern do you recommend to start crochet cables? Okay, yeah, yeah, Hannah sent me that earlier. Yeah, I would just look through the list to see something that you would like, not knowing what you haven't crocheted before, but just get some extra scrap yarn, and I would just do some swatches, just play with some swatches, make mistakes, have fun, get messy, like Miss Frizzle would say on the Magic School Bus. Um, and Kelly Hart says, I crocheted a newborn baby beanie, and a lady walked in and she said she has a year-old granddaughter and bought the baby beanie that had teddy bear ears. Oh, how sweet. That is so clever of you, Kelly. And Rebecca, welcome to our chat. And Crazy Soul says, what I said, in some places it's nice because it's quiet, but cities are not. Yeah, let me have misunderstanding that one. Um, and Phil says, my favorite thing about the cables is the departure of the norm, giving such visual interest. You know, I'm with you on that, Phil. That's what really got my interest in cables when I was a teenager. And that's before they really had much out there. And I would crochet whatever I could get my hands on, even though I didn't like the looks of it, which is why I kind of changed some of that stuff a little bit. But I really liked it I just liked that it was different. I mean, I wasn't one to go for, all the fashionista kind of stuff, even in junior high and high school. If everybody else was wearing it, I didn't want it. I know that sounds bizarre, but I just, if everybody else looks the same, I wanted to be different. And I think I got that. I think that's kind of fun with the crochet too, is if it looks like what everybody else is doing, I'd rather do something a little different. Um, it's just kinda how I got into developing different stitches, and, I love it. I really enjoy doing I love the challenge of it too, and, like I said, it really is a brain thing. It really I guess it's my way of doing math and engineering. It's engineering yarn instead of, pieces of metal and things like my son does. So, yeah. Oh, okay, I got it. Um, okay, any random user talking about the comment about the city. Yeah. I like country and peace, not the hustle bustle of the city life. Yeah. Yeah, I get both. I get both of those. Yeah. Um, excellent. And Tracy says, "I'm glad." Okay, okay. I'm not sure where that conversation. I think I'm getting in the middle of conversations here, but um, okay. All right. Well, I think I got everybody just about. Hey, Wanda, good to have you here. Um, I'm going to pass up on some of the conversation y'all are having, which is a wonderful conversation though about the country. Um, um, Actually, okay, there's Susanna says, I love that the yarn for the shawl is the Lord of the Rings name. We frequently refer to our house as I guess that's Bags End. I wonder if they have other Lord of the Rings themed yarn. Actually, they did. They actually had a pack that I got from my daughter Becky. It had 5 different colorways in it, one small hank of each. It was not cheap, but they had all of the different, things, and it was amazing how they looked like what you would think they should look like. Um, like Mordor was this really red with black, kind of a mixture, um, kinda looked like fire. So it was very, very, very interesting yarn. It was a lot of fun to work with that. But, yeah, I'll have to look and see, maybe, spend some more time on that once the shawl is released. I'll try to get more information on that indie dyer for you. Again, this is just yarn that I purchased from her. It's not a, what do you say, not an advertised, sponsorship or anything like that. But that's what I like to do. I like to support indie dyers where I can. If we can collaborate, fine. This is not a collaboration with her. This is just I purchased and I made. Um, but sometimes I do collaborate with indie dyers, and I love doing that. And Diane says, I like the border of the shawl. Thank you. And thank you, Tracy, for your comment too on that. Yeah, okay. Um, Thank you, Susie Pop's creation for all the kind comments too about the pricing on the watch channel. I'll just go ahead and read this. She's talking to Tracy and says, plus if you plan on buying the pattern, I feel like it's better to try a month for about the same price as the pattern, but you get a free copy of the pattern, no commercials on the video. Yeah, there are no commercials, no spam. I don't sell anybody's information to anybody. It's secure as I can have it. And looks like we have a friend from Brazil. So you are so welcome. Is it Loila? Welcome, welcome. I can't understand your written comment, but I'm so glad that you're here. I will take a look at that in a bit. And oh wow, Stephanie says, I think I've sent you the Ball Morale and I used Lion Brand Mandala yarn. It's a nice color changing yarn. Yeah. The slow color changing yarns. I love those for throws. It's so beautiful. I do remember seeing that, yes. Um, or somebody's that did a similar thing if it wasn't yours. Um, and we have Angela says, well, hello everyone. I'm crocheting Christmas bells. Wonderful. Pulling cat fur from my crochet today. Oh my goodness. All right. Um, and Joanne wants to know, do you have any of your pattern books? Okay. Do any of your pattern books have a pattern for a blanket using the large wheat cable stitch? I just found that as a tutorial on YouTube and would love to do a blanket using that stitch. Yes, I would check out if you're looking for a blanket. I have um, I have 2 leaflets on Amazon. There's this one, Celtic cabled throws, and there's also another one, 4 seasons of cable crochet, and I use a lot of the big stitches. Let me see if this is a variation of the wheat stitch, of the large wheat stitch. And yeah, there are a lot in here. Here's a variation on some of those stitches. And got a sampler throw with the wheat stitch in it. Yeah, and that's so you can take a look at the designs here. You can also take a look at the designs in the 4 seasons, and there's also a throw in here. Although this has many other different designs, cable crochet made easy. The crochet, come on, all the way. Well, I passed it up. There is a throw in here. The Cliffs of Moher throw. My fingers are slow today, guys. Okay, here we go. And this is a variation on the wheat stitch. And of course, if you want to make this a solid color, you can just make it a solid color. You don't have to stripe it the way I did. So those are the ones that come to mind that use that stitch. Okay, well, great question. Freaky Geek has made an appearance. Can you make bread with the wheat stitch? I wouldn't try it. It might be a little too fibery for your taste, Freaky Geek. But thanks for the question. All right. Joanne says, "Wow, thank you. I'm mostly a lurker when I get to watch." Yeah. Um, Wrong fiber for the body, just like cake yarn. Yep. Um, yep. And lurking is fine. That's absolutely right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and kind of wind down here. I did want to read something to you. Was really, really impacted by an amazing sermon on Sunday at our church. And we had a visiting pastor, a man named Josello, who is from Puerto Rico, and just a dear man. Hannah knows who I'm talking about, respects him so much. And he gave the most wonderful reminder, and it's from Ephesians chapter 3. And I'm going to read verses 14 through 19. I'm going to read these. I'm not going to do them justice, but if you have a chance to look them up and study them, I hope you can, because this is just so fundamental. And this is a prayer that Paul has for his friends in Ephesus, and that we're reading his letter that he wrote to them. But this is, I thought about this, and it's such a dear prayer, and I want this to be my prayer for you all as well. No matter what, whether we don't have to agree on everything in other ways, or and whether you're a crocheter or not, whatever. This is what I wish for you more than anything. I'm going to just read Paul's words. He says, "For this reason, I bow my knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth is named, that according to the riches of his glory, he may grant you to be strengthened with power through his Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, that you, being rooted and grounded in love, may have strength to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled with all the fullness of God." I just thought that was such an amazing passage that needs a lot more time and study, but just hoping, just wishing for you all, as our pastor wished for us, just a deeper awareness of God in your life, in your inner being. Because when you have that, you've got everything, and everything else is just a bonus. So, well, I want to wish you all a wonderful week, and I don't know that I'll be able to broadcast next Friday, but I will be communicating with you through the community section. So I'll put a notification or something up to let you know what I'll be doing. I'm going to try to go live if I can, but since I'll be in a different state, different place, I'll just have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, God bless. Bye bye.